Good afternoon, late afternoon, early evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Spartan Tip-Off Classic here at Bushnell Prairie City High School. This is game number 7, game number 1 of night number 4. It is a 3-game night tonight here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. I'm Dwayne Hewlett. Miles Hewlett is here. Kelly Sears is running a minute late, but he'll be here as well. He's on his way as we speak. He spent a little time with a racing hero of many this afternoon. So maybe we'll talk to him about that during one of our breaks. But I do want to tell you that he is on his way. So it should be a great night of basketball. The first game of the evening you're watching right now, Macomb High School and West Prairie High School, the Bombers against the Cyclones. For all intents and purposes, at this point, it is the championship game. Both these teams come into the game and this matchup 2-0 on this season. The Bombers have defeated have defeated West Hancock and Illini Bluffs. The Cyclones have defeated the Spartans last night, and I'm drawing a complete blank on who they defeated on Monday night. I'll tell you in just a second. Isn't that horrible? You can't remember? Or Tuesday night, excuse me. They defeated Illini Bluffs, and last night defeated the Spartans. Macomb defeated Illini Bluffs last night in West Hancock on Monday. So both teams played back-to-back games just on different nights. So we'll see what happens here as the Bombers and the Cyclones battle for a chance at a title here tonight. Whoever wins this is in the driver's seat for the tournament championship. Pregame show being brought to you by JoJo's Gaming Parlor. JoJo's Gaming Parlor offers the best gaming experience in the McDonough County area. Stop in for a cold drink and a chance to take home a nice wad of cash while you're at it. Also on game nights, check out TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH Events, live on the big screens. Come join your friends at JoJo's, located at 776 North Cole Street in Bushnell, and cheer area teams on to victory. A little bit of a change in the starting lineup for West Prairie. Kyle Rhodes officially did not make the bus tonight, so he is not here. It'll be a 5-guard starting offense for West Prairie. A 6'2 senior, number 2, Braxton Dunn. A 6'2 senior, number 3, Luke Shirey. A 6'3 senior, number 20, Bailey Sullivan. A 6'1 junior, number 1, Denver Mitchell. And a 6'3 senior, number 43, Brandon Clark. And Clark plays kind of a guard in this 5-guard offense, but he is more of the truest of forwards that the Cyclones have on their roster. For the Bombers of Macomb High School, they'll be the home team on the scoreboard. 5'9 junior, number 1, Connor Watson. A 5'10 senior, number 5, Connor Ham. A 5'10 junior, number 20, Nolan Kerr. A 6'2 senior, number 24, Hayden Case. And a 6'1 senior, number 22, Caden Mainland. And Jeremy Anderson brings his squad in at 2-0. Greg Duncan brings his squad in at 2-0. That means that this, as I said, is pretty much for the championship as we get ready to go here with game number 1 of 3 on the night here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. You've been listening to the pregame show brought to you by JoJo's Gaming Parlor. JoJo's Gaming Parlor offers the best gaming experience in the McDonough County area. Stop in for a cold drink and a chance to take home a nice wad of cash while you're at it. Also on game nights, check out TSSR Game Time Live events presented by MDH live on the big screen. Come join your friends at JoJo's, located at 776 North Cole Street in Bushnell. Cheer area teams on to victory. Mainland and Sullivan in to jump it up for these two teams. And now if this was hockey, he'd get kicked out of the circle right now. Mainland a little premature on the jump, but we are underway, and Mainland does win. It goes all the way back to Watson, who did not even have to move. It went right to him, and that's how we'll start the contest. Things going the right way for the Bombers right off the bat here. Mainland's going to skip it across to Watson. Watson looks at the 3 left side, and nothing but the bottom of the net. Connor Watson gets his team on the scoreboard first with a 3, and Macomb leads early 3-0. Neither one of these teams started very quickly on Wednesday night. A little bit better start for them here this afternoon. And I would still call it this afternoon. Anytime you start before 5 o'clock, it's still afternoon, right? Isn't that how that works? Down low it goes to Sullivan. Sullivan turnaround jumper off, no good. Rebound by Ham. I do believe it was Ham. Now it goes to Mainland down the left side. He hesitates and runs over Mitchell. Loses it, but goes right to Kerr. He misses his shot, and a rebound by Shirey with 7:05 to go here in the first quarter. Dunn with it. Has it tipped away by Kerr, and then it's either going to be Dunn or Sullivan picking up the foul. It's going to be on number 20, Bailey Sullivan. His first. Team's first. And it is Watson with it. He'll give it to Ham. 6:50 remaining here in the first quarter. Hayden Case to Watson to Kerr. Kerr with it again. Hayden Case. Watson looked at the three from the right side that time, didn't take it. Ham will from the left side, the left wing. It's long. Rebound, well, it was picked up momentarily. Mainland gets the bucket. His first. It's 5-0 Macomb here early in this one. And the aforementioned Kelly Sears has joined me alongside. And it's going to be still no score for the Cyclones. Sullivan he had a good look down in the post in their first trip down. Couldn't get it to fall, Now Mitchell, who's in the starting lineup tonight for Rhodes, misses his three-pointer, and Mainland with the rebound for the Bombers, and it goes back the other way. Do you want to do stats?
Sure.
I'll turn your mic back up now that you're all settled in.
I'm all settled in and ready to go. Been a long day, but I'm here.
Watson for three. He tried to bank that one home. Mainland tips it out to Kerr. Kerr's going to drive the baseline, get it out to Mainland now, and they'll set it back up. 5:35 remaining in the first quarter. Down to Kerr it goes. Dunn snaps it away. And Dunn waited for somebody. He knew nobody could touch it, but nobody was going to touch it, I don't think. Everybody ran away from it.
I think he thought that, well, if it takes 2 or 3 dribbles out, nobody's going to notice.
Well, everybody ran away from it. Did you notice that? He's like, if I don't touch it, nobody's just going to stay here.
He sat there and he watched it, and he watched it, and he watched it. Then he decided, oh, I better pick it up.
Yeah, I better pick it up, I guess. And the Bombers like, okay, pick it up. That's fine with us. Watson from the corner. He pump fakes. Now goes down to Hayden Case. Jump stop. Jumper is good. And it is 7-0. As I put that one of those buckets on the wrong side, it's 7-0. Shot is up and good by Shirey. After all that work to get the scoreboard to look right. I could have just left it pretty much, couldn't I? As quick as that happened.
Yep.
Mainland. Watson into Kerr at the left elbow. Out to Ham. He's going to drive. Jump, stops, spins, pivots, and throws it away to Case. Case's jumper's in and out. And he's going to get called for the foul as he followed his shot a little too aggressively, and he'll pick up the first foul for the Bombers.
You know, the one thing that in the first 2 or 3 minutes here, it's what I'm seeing is something that we talked with Coach Anderson about the other night was getting Hayden Case more involved in the paint, and he looks a lot more aggressive tonight. That
is for sure. The turkey and dressing didn't affect him a whole lot.
No.
But Jack Duncan is in, as is Jonathan Jeter now for the Bombers. Still the same group on the floor for, looks like actually Kyle Rhodes has made the call. Now a steal by Mainland goes to Ham, and Ham hesitated to grab it because he had to, and then he couldn't get it back. Jonathan Jeter for three. It's off, no good. He's going to track it down, save it. Dunn has it on the save from Jeter. Three on the way by Shirey is off, no good. Duncan had the rebound, and it'll go back the other way for the Bombers. Duncan with it. Mainland with the three. Caden Mainland gets the tray to fall. You're a celebrity.
Yeah. They said I was in the wrong district, though.
Well, you kind of are to some extent, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I guess anymore you don't really have a district, do you?
I'm a free agent.
You're free. Kyle Rhodes is in the game, as we mentioned. Shot was no good for the Cyclones. Now Duncan's going to drive, pull up from about 15 feet, and his jumper's good from the baseline. And a timeout charged to West Prairie. It's 12-2. And Kelly, it's 32nd timeout here for West Prairie. And this is a Bomber squad that's coming out better today than we've seen them come out all season, their first 2 games.
Yeah, and you know, I guess the thing that I'm looking at is that Macomb should. If you understand what I'm talking, I said not putting anybody down or anything else, but we're playing 1A schools. We're a 2A school. We should.
Right, and that's a mindset you should have, and maybe in the past they always have had. But at the same time, that can act negatively against you too if you don't take those 1A schools seriously, right?
Yes, you're absolutely right, and you know that's the thing that even. And, you know, we'll go back a long time here when it was a 2-class system, 1A and 2A. And I remember, you know, like with softball, my schedule was loaded with 2A schools. You know, we'd go play all the Quad City schools, and then we'd drop down to 1A, and it was just, hey, this is pretty easy stuff.
Right.
You know, so.
Yeah, for the average 1A school is not the below average 2A school.
Yes. And, you know, it's kind of like the state championship football playoffs today. You can take that, you know, every class has their own state champion, but you take that 8A school and you play that 1A school, it's all.
it's not going to be pretty 9
No.
times out of 10.
No.
There's not very many Hoosiers movies out there, you know what I'm saying? And it's just, and there's a reason for that, just because you have so many different people to pick from, and there's Sullivan for 3, and it's an air ball. Rhodes tried to save it.
I thought that went off Mainland.
No, he didn't touch it.
He didn't touch it?
No, he dove out of the way,
You
so
got
to
better
speak.
eyes than me.
I didn't think he touched anyway. We've established, Kelly, that I don't have very good eyes. But I didn't think he touched it. If he didn't touch it, he was a really good actor for not touching it.
Yes.
Because he just kind of spun and let it go. Watson with it to the aforementioned Mainland. Now Jeter. Give and go to Mainland. And it's 14-2.
Mainland with 7 points.
This is a team that he should be able to dominate.
Yes.
I mean, you take Clark off the floor for the Cyclones, and there's not a whole lot of size or girth out there.
No, you're not. And Clark, you know, he's a role player. He's a spot player.
But I think his spot would be trying to contain Mainland a little bit. I think he's about the only kid that matches up with Mainland on the squad. And then Duncan throws a whole nother wrench into that plan because he's speed and size. And there's a drive and a bucket for Watson. And it's 16-2, and this is nothing like what I thought this game was going to be like to start here.
No, I didn't either.
And now Ham with the steal from Dunn. He goes to the rack. His left-hand layup's off, no good. Rebound knocked away from Jeter, given back to Ham. Watson with it now. Watson, one of the guys who tweaked an ankle, I think, on Wednesday, seems to be playing okay, though.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Nice give and go again. And they are playing the aggressiveness of Cyclones against them, aren't they?
Yes. And, you know, the big thing is you can say what you want about Gus Macker and 3-on-3 stuff, but that little play right there, those two guys have been playing together a long time.
Watson picks up the foul, his first, team's second. Steven Stufflebeam replacing Watson now with the team up 18-2 here in the first quarter. 1:22 to go in the first quarter, and that could have been a double dribble right there. Now they're going to call Ham for a reach. His first, team's third. So it'll be Dunn taking it out underneath the basket for the Cyclones. Trying to get it in. Finally gets it into Mitchell. He's going to drive, picked up by Stuffelbeam. He's going to lose it. Ham's going to pick it up, and Stuffelbeam will bring it up the floor. 1:08 remaining in the first quarter. The Cyclones haven't trailed by more than 10 points all season to this point. There was a miss by Jeter, but Sullivan gets the shot off, no good. Rhodes with the rebound. His high off the glass putback's no good. Jeter with the rebound. I was going to say they've got a serious threat to be down by 20 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, and Cyclones came out slow Wednesday night against Bushnell.
Yes, they did. And the Bombers did also against the Illini West, or against the Illini Bluffs, excuse me, but picked it up. Tonight, that is not the case. They tried to pick and roll that time again, and not a good pass from Stuffelbeam, stolen away. Dunn's going to take it down and get the layup to fall. 18 seconds left, 18-4. A 14-point lead, and this will probably be a one-shot scenario for the Bombers here with 10 seconds remaining. Jeter with it. Ian Case is in the game. I didn't mention him when he came in. Jeter down low on a nice look from Stuffelbeam. Reverse layup off, no good. Stuffelbeam put back, no good, and that's how it's going to end. The end of one quarter of play, it's 18-4. Macomb with the lead. We'll take a break and be back here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH right after this.
MDH has committed to having a top-notch OB-GYN unit.
The new facility, the Dolores Cater Schweitzer Women's Center, this is a quality facility that the patients need to match the quality of care.
And then we also have a new clinic, which is state-of-the-art.
And here at McDonough, we have a team. And everybody feels like they're a part of the successes that we have.
We have a strong team in our office and in labor and delivery. You will get the best care at McDonough District.
I became a nurse practitioner because I wanted to do more, I wanted to learn more, actually have more hands-on individually with patients. The rewarding part for me is that I get to come to work and learn something new every single day.
Welcome back to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, and here at Bushnell Prairie City High School for the Spartan Tip-Off Classic. Dwayne Hewlett, Kelly Sears alongside. And Kelly, during that timeout, during the commercials, you and I were talking about what we would do or what we wouldn't do, and the best part about us being here is it really doesn't matter what we would do, does it?
No, it really doesn't. We can give all the input we want, but I will tell you, I've been on that other side before.
So have I, and I don't know that I like it too well, to be honest with you.
And I've even had that striped shirt on, too, and I don't like that either.
Ball goes into Ashton Barkley, who's in the game. Also in the game is number 13 that I don't even have on my roster for West Prairie. Have to see if we can figure out who number 13 is. Sullivan. And we're going to call a foul, a hand check. Foul going to go down to the baseline on the inbound. We'll see who the foul's on.
5, I think, Ham.
It is on Connor Ham, his second.
Personal foul number 5, Connor Ham, his second, team 4. Hunter Wilson checks in.
Hunter Wilson checking in, replacing Ham. If anybody from West Prairie is watching the game and can tell us who number 13 is, we'd greatly appreciate it. We don't have that on our roster. He hasn't, unless he's wearing a different jersey, he hasn't played this week either. So. Bailey Sullivan has it stolen away by Wilson. Wilson's going to outlet it to Watson, but throws it a little too far ahead and out of bounds.
I don't know. Let me look.
Thanks, Langdon. Langdon Allen is telling us great stream, guys. So Sullivan has it. Again, if anybody from West Prairie is watching, there's Sullivan for 3. It's short. Rebound's going to go to Hayden Case. And Watson, man, he wanted to throw it down to Kerr, didn't he? He just couldn't pull it off. And Case is going to knock it away from Sullivan. Caden Mainland count it, and a foul. The second foul of the game for the Cyclones.
Going in for the old-fashioned 3, isn't he? And the Band-Aid.
Number 4, Ashton Barkley picks up the foul. Brandon Clark checking in. Number 13 took a seat. Cameron Kramer is number 13, I'm being told. And do we have Cameron Kramer on my sheet over there?
I don't see it.
That one is good as well. So they must have 16 on the bench today. So it's 21-4. Thank you, Lindsay. Greatly appreciate that. Watson with the steal. Shot.
Ho, ho.
Mainland gets another one to fall, and he is en fuego. Isn't that what they used to say?
Yeah, I'll agree with you.
Cool as the other side of the pillow.
Did he make the free throw a second ago?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
It's 23 to 4 now. Done with it. Shot off, no good. Mainland with the rebound. And how is that not a foul?
I have no idea.
Watson and Kerr had it down low. He could have taken the shot. Watson drives, misses. Shirey with the rebound. He goes back the other way. 5:50 remaining in the first half. He backs things out.
Nolan Kerr's too unselfish there.
Yes, he was. Bailey Sullivan for 3.
He's got to take that shot where he was at.
Lacey Caldwell, thank you very much for helping us out with Cameron Kramer. Kerr's going to drive. Clark cut him off pretty literally. Watson, oh, there was another give and go or pick and roll right there that was open too. Hayden Case, turnaround jumper's good. He didn't even turn the right way on the pick and roll, and he was still open.
Yeah.
Done with it. Clark down low. Dumps it out to Shirey for 3. It's good. Oh, Cyclones scoring a few points now.
Starting to pick it up a little bit.
They got to keep the Bombers from scoring, though, and that will not help. Hayden Case going to get the bucket. I believe Ashton Barkley is going to pick up the foul. It is Barkley's foul.
Number 4, personal Prairie foul. This is second, team third.
That's 6 points for Hayden Case tonight.
Ian Case and Jonathan Jeter checking in for the Bombers. Kyle Rhodes and Denver Mitchell checking in for the Cyclones. 4:41 to go. Old-fashioned three-point play finish coming here for Hayden Case. He couldn't finish it. And Ian Case is going to track down the rebound, though. Now Hayden's going to drive to the rack again. His layup's off, no good. Jeter's got some ups, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Now Mainland and Hayden Case get tangled up, and Hayden falls down pretty hard but gathers himself back. Done with it now to Sullivan. Now, I know that Sullivan, well, now that's a little better match for Macomb. There's a 3 on the way by Dunn. But if Sullivan has Watson guarding him, he's got to take him to the post, doesn't he?
I would think so. He's got about 6 inches on him, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Hayden Case with it. Tried to get Ian to cut. He finally did. Now another pick and roll. Hayden with the shot. He's partially blocked, gets his own rebound, puts it back up, off no good again. Kyle Rhodes with the rebound for the Cyclones. And chance to cut into the 14-point lead now. Long 3 for Dunn, and it's good.
It's about a single-digit ball game.
The Cyclones are like that. This isn't over yet, kids. They can knock down to 3 like that. There's Ian Case going to drive. Shots off, no good. Dunn with the rebound, and Cyclones have a little pep in their step all of a sudden. He's going to drive. It's blocked by Case.
Oh. Called
and a foul on Ian Case. That's going to be team's 5th, and a mask timeout, media timeout. This game, did I give you my sheet? I got to have that stuff back.
Okay.
This game being brought to you by McDonough District Hospital. Their athletic trainers and MDH Rehabilitation Center with locations in Bushnell and Macomb provide expert help to Cyclone and Bomber student athletes in the prevention, care, and rehabilitation of all athletic injuries. Learn more at mdh.org. McDonough District Hospital, more than hospital care, a hospital caring. And a community news brief for all your local news. Subscribe to the Community News Brief Weekly Edition, mailed directly to your home every Friday. As an option, you can also receive Monday and Wednesday editions by email. All of this for only $42 per year or $38 per year if you're 65 or older. Single copies can be purchased at select locations in Bushnell, Colchester, and Blandonsville. And a McDonough Telephone Cooperative. This Westbury game stream is made possible on McDonough Telephone's fiber internet. McDonough Telephone offers lightning fast and reliable fiber internet, video, phone, and camera systems to the McDonough County area. Call 309-776-3211 to check your availability. So 3:22 to go in the first quarter, or first half, excuse me. We're in the second quarter, and it's 27-16. And just a few seconds ago, it seems like, Kelly, it was 24-6 or 24-5.
Yeah, they've came on a very big run, you know. And the thing about it is they've come down and hit 2 or 3 threes, bang, 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 and we haven't answered on the other end. So that's going to get them right back into ball game real quick.
You know, this is the third game we've done this year, and we've done games in the past together. But how many times this year have you said 3-pointers will get you back in a game? And,
a bunch.
And what's it doing right here?
Yeah.
I mean, three times down the floor, you get 9 points instead of 6. That's a huge difference.
Well, that's just like we were talking the other night with the West Prairie Bushnell game. You know, 3-pointers going to get you right back into game.
Dunn hits the first one. And as you pointed out, almost a single-digit game, and it will be if he can hit this second one and make it 3 possessions, which goes from about 6 possessions to 3 possessions in a minute and a half. He hits them both. This is a little more, I think, of what we expected this game to be, right?
Yes.
Macomb kind of dominating with some driving and some skill down low, and West Prairie dominating with some shooting and some skill outside. Ham's going to dump it out to Watson for 3. It's in. His second. Back to a 12-point advantage, 30-18, excuse me, 2:53 to go. Dunn to Rhodes on the dribble, goes cross court. Denver Mitchell with it now. He picks up his dribble, and he's being harassed by Ham. Now a steal temporarily by Duncan. And they're going to call over and back on Mitchell.
I don't know. Was that close? You're right there on the line. You're about perfect.
It might have actually been a travel, in all honesty. It looked like he had 1 foot, and he was kind of leaning. It looked like to me he might have skipped that 1 foot to keep from falling over. But he didn't call. They didn't call traveling, but I was waiting for him to. Watson with it. 2:28 remaining in the first half. Watson still on the dribble. Going to drive. He's blocked from behind by Sullivan. Jeter is going to rip it away from Mitchell, but lose it out of bounds. Possession to West Prairie. Watson a little slow to get up there. He got in a pretty good tangle with Bailey Sullivan. Dunn on the dribble now. Macomb has picked their defensive intensity back up a little bit.
Yeah.
It seemed like at the start of this second quarter, maybe they had slacked that off a little bit, but now it's right back up in a mug. Not getting many open looks at the basket again for the Cyclones.
I was thinking Macomb might pick them up a little bit full court just to rattle them a few times.
Watson with it, 1:49 remaining. Setting up the half-court offense now are the Bombers. Picks and rolls and stuff like that from the Bombers, where it's motion more for the Cyclones on the other end.
Yes.
More traditional look on the Bombers' end of the floor. Although they do need to work on which way you roll after a pick. Ham counted in a foul. Who are they going to call that on? 3? Yep. Picks the foul. Team fourth, only 5 and 4 apiece. 1:22 to go in the first half. If you're watching this game, let us know where you're watching from and who you're cheering for. We always like to see that. And the basket is, the free throw is good to make it 33-18. And it was 9. Now a 6-0 run for the Bombers. After a 3 from Watson and an old-fashioned three-point play by Ham. Dunn, step back, didn't take the 3. Boy, that's a leaning pick that was getting called the other day, wasn't it? And now Duncan's going to sneak right in and pick the pocket of Mitchell. The layup is good by Jack Duncan. And you got to give Jack Duncan some credit there. He just was like a cat waiting in the weeds, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Just waited.
Kind of just manhandled him and took it away from him.
Now a ill-advised pass from Sullivan. He was looking for Dunn, who was trying to cut, but a good job of getting in the passing lane in a trailing position by Watson. Let's take the ball away. We're at 40 seconds left, and it's 35-18. Watson looked like he wanted to take that three from there.
He was eyeballing it, wasn't he?
But he looked up at the clock and saw 30 seconds and probably thought one shot here would be better, right?
I think he heard Coach Anderson in his ear, too.
Surely not. Surely not. Watson's going to give it to Jeter. 12 seconds left. I hear Coach Anderson, maybe I could hear him anyway, say now. Kerr says nobody's going to guard me. I'll pull up from the free throw line and make my first bucket of the game. And it was down to 9, and the Bombers end on a 10-0 run to end the quarter to make it a 37-18 game, a 19-point advantage at the end of the second quarter. We'll take a break here on TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH and be back in just a couple minutes.
I couldn't ask for a better agent, for a better company in a disaster where you have no idea where to start.
I learned that there's not a given in life. It takes a team. There's people that are going to watch out for us and that care.
It's been pretty stressful. Once we saw Lori and got our plan, it's
like a huge weight lifted.
We're always moving. Scratch that. We're always moving forward. But forward can sometimes look a little backwards. Or like circles. Or like nothing at all. But we never stop. We never stop. Because life never stops. It's hard to stop a train.
Some farmers I know swear by a name. Say they'd never operate anything else. Well, here are a few names for my Fendt 900 Gen 6 series. Fuel Saver. Time Maximizer. Game Changer. I like those names.
Dry needling is where you insert a filiform needle into a muscle, a tendon, a ligament, sometimes a bone, and it promotes blood flow and circulation so that it heals that particular painful area.
At Country Financial, we enjoy serving the community in which we live, big or small.
I love living in the Blandonsville area. It's where I grew up, went to school, and decided to raise my family. I never had a desire to live or work anywhere other than in a small town. I feel lucky to help my longtime friends and neighbors with their insurance needs. It's like working with family every day.
I'm Brett Powell, your local Country Financial representative, whose door is always open to work with you.
Welcome back to Bushnell Prairie City High School as we are here at the halfway point of this one, and it's 37-18. We'd had it cut down to 9 points. The game was coming along, and all the Macomb folks are here talking to Kelly at halftime here. Kelly's working hard. Hey, how are you? That's not a Macomb folk, though, is it?
I don't know what he is. He's a.
I don't know what I am. This is the first game I've been in 2.5 years. I'm kind of excited.
Yeah.
Hey, they got the players. 8 of them.
Yep.
Or more.
So
look good.
7 minutes to go in the halfway point.
You think that guy there's ever coached a basketball game before?
1 or 10 or 100 or 200. I don't know.
I would say in the thousands. It's got to be in the thousands.
Yeah. So, well, luckily we had a little power failure, but since we were at commercial, nobody would have known it if I hadn't said anything. But Miles is hopefully taking care of that problem, so we won't have that happen again. It seems like you and I sat here the whole time we were on that commercial break, and not one person said a word to you, or me for that matter. And then we come right as soon as we come back everybody wants to talk. You ever notice how that works?
Yep, they're all hanging right here. Maybe they know that, and they want a little airtime.
They might. We could just gave him a microphone.
We'd have gave him a microphone, and he'd went here all night long.
Yeah,
you know that.
Yeah, we probably wouldn't have got to talk much the rest of the game. Well, you got some stats for halftime?
Yes. For Macomb, Jack Duncan with 4 points. Connor Watson with 2 threes. Ended up with 10 points at the half. Connor Ham ended up with 3. Nolan Kerr with 2. Cade Mainland with 12. The thing about it is, and we've talked about that inside play, Macomb, once it picks up, that's going to open up the outside play a little bit more. Hayden Case ends up with 6. For West Prairie, Braxton Dunn with 10, Luke Shirey with 5, and Bailey Sullivan with 3. And I think, probably, Coach Duncan's probably saying, hey, Bailey, we got to have a little bit more out of you tonight, because he is one of the go-to guys on that team.
Yeah, him and Dunn are the two real go-to guys. Shirey is one that can score some points for him as well. And I think, you and I have talked on several occasions about the Cyclones here. I think as they move forward, it's going to be a 3-headed scoring machine.
Yes.
And they need those 3 to probably be at or in double figures, all 3 of them, to be successful. And then anything they can get from everybody else is kind of a bonus. But
they need to really get at least 10 or 15 points from everybody else. You can go in and that Sullivan and Dunn are going to be in double figures every night. And Shirey, like you say, he's hot. He banged those 2 threes, and then he may shoot 3 more and miss. And, when guys are feeling it, give him the ball. And he's one of those guys that when he feels it, he's going to knock them down. But, the big thing is it's the guys off the bench and the other players that really need to pick things up and, add some points.
It becomes even easier for Sullivan and Dunn and Shirey to score when there's 2 or 3 other guys that are at least a threat, right?
Yes.
You don't have to score a lot. You just have to be a threat to score, and people know that you're a threat. That's when they have to guard you, and if you can take a guy or 2 out of the equation that can spotlight on the other 2 or 3 guys, if it goes back kind of our triangle and 2 idea or box and 1 thing, it's the same kind of mindset, because if you got 1 or 2 players that are going to score all your points, everybody else will essentially play a zone and almost dare you to try to make somebody else score, right?
I'm not even, I used to tell kids, we're not even going to guard them. If they're going to stand out there until they shoot and make one, we ain't going to guard them. Let them go. They haven't did anything all night,
And even if they're at the post, if they aren't going to shoot or don't get the ball, there's no reason to guard them, right?
Yep.
If they get them the ball a couple times and they score a couple times, then, okay, we need to change things up a little bit.
Yep.
But until then, and so you look at those guys as the main scoring threats, but just like that's where you get everybody else involved. The nice thing about Macomb tonight, they're scoring quite a few points, but they're really spreading it around. And they've done that in every game, but it's a lot more points tonight.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, like we said, Mainland and Hayden Case are in the scoring column, where the other night Mainland was kind of hot and cold, but tonight, he's picking his game up. And, the thing about it is Watson, Duncan, and Ham, they're going to get their points. They're kind of like the guys from West Prairie. They're going to get their points, but it's these other guys that's really got to pick things up. And the nice thing about Macomb is that they got 8 or 9 guys that can come into the game and score at any time, and that's good.
What's funny is you mentioned Duncan will get his points or whatever. He's not even starting.
Yeah.
He's the 6th man, essentially. But he's really been a huge part of this team in the early stage of this game. And one of the things that Coach Anderson and I talked about the first night, and you can relate to this probably, Duncan was the star of the football team, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's the star of the football team. He comes to the basketball floor, and a lot of times the star of the football team is the star of the basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
Not the case. He's not even in the starting lineup. But he's relishing that role, it looks like. He's taking full advantage of the time he gets, and he's working his tail off when he is on the floor. That's like the definition
of an athlete
mm-hmm. and a team player, right?
Yes, you're absolutely right. And those are the type of players you want playing for you, that it doesn't make any difference.
You know, they play 100% whether they're coming off the bench, whether they're starting, or they cheer 100% if they're not even on the floor.
Yeah, and, you know, that's kind of funny you say that, and I'm thinking back to yesterday, and don't hold this against me. I'm a big Cowboys fan. I always have been. And in yesterday's game, I don't know if you watched it or not.
I did.
But Zeke Elliott standing on the bench trying to get to –
when the defense was on
the
field.
Trying, you know, and to me, you can say all you want about pro players, but when you see that –
there are still a few good ones that care about the team. You know, and Zeke's playing with a hurt knee too. Now, how hurt it is up to up to a discussion. But if he's playing with a bone bruise, which is kind of what I understood it to be, a bruise of some sort. If it's a bone bruise, I don't know if you've ever had a bone bruise. That's what the Illini Bluffs player is missing the game for. Bone bruises are the most painful thing I've ever dealt with in my life.
I think I've had a few brain bruises. I don't know about, but I probably had a bone bruise through the years.
Bone bruises hurt. I had a bone bruise hurt so bad I couldn't wear pants. I had to wear shorts or had to keep my pant leg off my pants. It hurt so bad.
Man.
It is painful. And if that's what he's playing with on his knee, he's a better man than me. Well, I mean, he's a better man than me anyway. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you got to remember, that's like we were talking yesterday at Thanksgiving dinner. We were watching the games, and I didn't realize that I think it was my son-in-law told me that LeBron James was making $284,000 per game.
Oh yeah, and then he's getting people kicked out because they're mean to him.
And I think I could play with a bone bruise for $284,000 a game.
Well, if it was on your shin like mine was, you wouldn't even notice it unless somebody hit it, right?
Yeah.
Because you're playing basketball, you wear shorts anyway. Oh, we're underway here in the third quarter. We kind of got off track there, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Watson has it after the missed shot. It's a Case. Case's pass is tipped, but Ham comes up with it. Pull up. A floater is off, no good. Tipped around again. Dunn comes down with it. It is third quarter action here at Bushnell Prairie City High School. Shirey for three, off no good. Hayden Case with the rebound, and that's something we didn't really talk about. The post players for the Bombers are controlling this game to some extent at least. Mainland and Hayden Case and Duncan should be able to dominate on the post. And there's Kerr on a nice little cut to the basket. And he gets his second bucket, and the first time it's been over 20. 21-point lead for the Bombers now, 39-18. Sullivan loses it, gathers it back up. Fadeaway jumper is short. Watson, and amongst what would be the trees, although none of them were really there, gets the rebound. There wasn't a whole bunch. There's Ham for three. It's off the side of the rim, no good. Denver Mitchell with the rebound. I was getting ready to say there wasn't a whole lot of people down to rebound that one, was there?
But the thing that you got to remember if you're Macomb is that this West Prairie team is scary because of the fact that they can score points very quickly, like they did in that second quarter.
Right, they cut it to 9 in a matter of about 2 minutes after hitting 4 threes in a row or 3 threes and a 2 or whatever it was, but they cut it to 9 in a big hurry. And have the ability to do that again, but Macomb can slow things down like this. And we did talk about West Prairie did go to the zone now, although Macomb is finding ways to cut through it right now. Mainland gets the rebound. He's going to be fouled by Clark. Finding ways to cut through it at any rate. First foul of the half, Clark's first. But what I was going to say is we talked the pick and rolls and the give and goes. We're working against the man-to-man. Mainland misses the first free throw. So they did go to the zone like you talked about. Doesn't seem to be helping the cutting a whole lot right now.
No, and I think a lot of that is the post players from Macomb are just bigger and stronger and getting through, you know.
Mainland missed both. Dunn with the rebound. Picks up his dribble, goes to Shirey. 5:44 to go in the third quarter. Mitchell with it. There's not been a whole lot of free throws shot. Most of them have been and ones. No bonuses. So there's a foul there. I believe it's going to be on Hayden Case. Both teams will have one foul early in the third quarter here. It is on Hayden Case, his second. They're going to call that on the shot. Denver Mitchell will be at the free throw line shooting 2. 5:35 remaining in the third quarter.
Did he make that first one?
He missed it.
Okay.
Both teams are now 1 for 4 as he did make the fourth one finally. 39-19, down to a 20-point game. Ham with it. Comes up top to Case. Now he's going to lob it down to Mainland. Mainland, left-handed shot off, no good. Gets his own rebound. Put back and a foul. Count it and the harm. And Mainland is really more like a man among boys down there right now, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
He is dominating the post area. He is going to hit the second one, or hit his first free throw there. He's 1 for 3 in the second half, and a timeout's going to be called by the Cyclones. It is a full timeout. We'll take a break as well and be back here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, right after this.
We're always moving. Scratch that. We're always moving forward. But forward can sometimes look a little backwards. Or like circles. Or like nothing at all. But we never stop. We never stop. Because life never stops. It's hard to stop a train.
I chose physical therapy because I knew I wanted to be in the healthcare field. I wanted to be able to help patients in some way related to more in depth. We get to know our patients, and that's really what kind of sets us apart.
Welcome back to Bushnell Prairie City High School Spartan Tip-Off Classic. You're watching TSSR Game Time Live on the Hewlett Public Pro LLC YouTube channel. 5:19 to go in the third quarter. It's a 42-19 game. And after an old-fashioned three-point play by Mainland, the Cyclones took a timeout. They are down to 3 timeouts remaining for the contest. Bombers have yet to use a timeout, which at this rate they probably won't, right?
No. They'll save them for tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope it don't work that way. Tomorrow's going to be long enough already. Inlet pass from Mitchell is stolen away by Watson. Watson goes to the rack.
I don't know who he's going to get on this. There's about 3 guys.
I think it's going to be Dunn. It is on Dunn. And third team foul for the Cyclones, and everyone has been on a shot. Watson at the free throw line shooting his first 2 free throws of the second half. Mainland is 1 for 3 in the second half. We'll see what Watson can do now. First one is good.
Very nice touch.
A couple players coming in for Macomb. Lindsey May, Jonathan Jeter, and Jack Duncan. Second free throw off, no good. Shirey with the rebound for the Cyclones. Mitchell with it, looking down to Parker, stolen away, or Clark, excuse me. And a double dribble called on Jeter, I think.
That was on Watson.
Or was it on Watson?
Mm-hmm.
I thought Jeter had it first.
There's my man here to take care of me.
Oh, somebody getting you some popcorn. Shirey's going to bring it up for the Cyclones now. 43-19 is the score. 4:36 remaining. There's a give and go for the Cyclones, and Duncan's going to knock it out of bounds. Kyle Rhodes checking in for the Cyclones, replacing Brandon Clark.
Good outlet pass.
Watson's going to go right to the rack. Misses it. Shirey blocked it. Dunn goes back the other way. He puts up the shot. It's off, no good. Shirey had to rebound. Saved in by Ham off of Duncan. Duncan's like, you're supposed to do that to the other team, not me. 4:15 remaining in the third quarter. 43-19 is the score. Shirey with it. And they're going to call an offensive foul on Kyle Rhodes.
Cyclone offensive foul number 30, Kyle Rhodes, his first, team fourth.
Team's fourth. That's the first time they haven't shot a free throw on one of their fouls.
No Bomber cheerleaders tonight. Just notice that.
May's going to go to Watson. And he tried to pick and roll. He did turn the right direction, though. Duncan with it. Ham. Looked to Jeter cutting, nothing doing. And they're back to a man-to-man, are the Cyclones. Jack Duncan with a layup. He did a pump fake or a pass fake and drove right to the hoop. Had a good look, but couldn't finish with the left hand. And it's a media timeout for the Mask. We'll stay here. This game being brought to you by Good Hope Gardens. Good Hope Gardens located at 445 East Main Street in Good Hope. That's just east of the North Elementary School. Open April through October for all your fresh produce needs. Make sure to follow them on Facebook to find out when they open in the spring and all the goodies they'll have available come springtime. Grover and Mary Jo DeCounter and family invite you to Good Hope Gardens. Come see where it's grown. And Country Financial agent Brett Powell, your farm is your legacy. As a leading farm insurer, Country Financial is here to help protect it. Call Brett Powell, your local Country rep, at 309-652-3889 for a free quote today. And Yetter Farm Equipment. Yetter Farm Equipment with facilities in Colchester and Macomb, Illinois, is an agricultural equipment manufacturer that has been in business since 1930, and they are currently hiring. Start a new career with excellent benefits and starting hourly wages of $18 to $24 per hour. For more information, call 309-776-4111 or visit them online at yetterco.com/careers. 3:44 to go in the third quarter. We are at the Mask timeout. It's 43-19. The Bombers lead the Cyclones. Of course, we'll have all the Cyclones games. Kenny Suter is going to bring you a vast majority of those Cyclones games from West Prairie High School. We're getting to see a Bombers a lot here in this early season tournament. We'll see them a couple more times. They'll be at Scioto, and they'll be back here at Bushnell again later this year, so, and the girls as well. Duncan's jumper is off, no good. Gets his own rebound, passes it down to Watson, out to Jeter for three. It's good. Jonathan Jeter gets his first bucket, and it's 46-19, a 27-point advantage, excuse me.
Now, we haven't talked about this, but there's probably a lot of people out there, I should say Macomb fans, that are following the Bombers and watching the game tonight, is that they probably want to know what's happening in the conference and who's in it with basketball, because everything's different, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And, you know, where it used to be, you know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you were in a conference for everything. Now, things are so screwed up that I'm just going to be in it for football, and then we're going to be somewhere else for basketball, and we'll be somewhere else for baseball. So you may want to fill the people in on who's in the conference and who's not.
Yeah, they are in the Prairie Land Conference for basketball. Prairie Land Conference for football, too, but Bushnell's not in the Prairie Land Conference for football.
Yeah.
Because Bushnell's an 8-man.
Or West Prairie.
Or West Prairie. Neither one of them are. So that's Macomb will now play West Prairie and Bushnell during the regular season for basketball, but not for football. It's all screwed up.
Yeah.
But you'll see Lewiston and
Havana,
yep. Illini West is in it now.
Yeah. South Fulton, Rushville.
North Fulton, Rushville, Peoria Heights. Although Peoria Heights, I think, actually is switching or has switched conferences as well. They're in a Illini Bluffs conference now, I think.
Because they went to 8-man football also, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's with all this co-oping and everything else that's going on, there's a big collision.
That was Ian Case going to be called for the foul.
It'll be his second, I think, isn't it?
Yes.
Bomber personal foul number 40, Ian Case. That's his second, team third.
Rhodes with it. Peoria Heights is still on the schedule for both West Prairie and BPC. So I'm not sure when. It's Watson with the steal and the layup. Not sure when that change is happening, but I know they are going to the same conference as Illini Bluffs, which is one of the reasons why Illini Bluffs came to this tournament, is to get out of a tournament that had a whole bunch of their conference schools in it. But now this tournament is full of a bunch of Prairie Land Conference teams. So it's just, but the conferences are getting so condensed now. Unless you're going to drive a whole long ways, you can't hardly get out of that, can you?
You know, and I can tell you all about it, and I know all about it. And sometimes I would say the IHSA has to step in and do something, and that's my opinion, especially in football.
Yeah, shrink the conferences, shrink everything a little bit.
You know, and just go to districting. And when you go to districting, everybody's going to be within the same population of students.
Right. And a layup by Duncan is good. And Sullivan's going to pick up the foul. Number 22, Adam Vale, and number 1, Denver Mitchell checking in. Ashton Barkley checking in for the Cyclones as well. Here in the third quarter, 1:29 to go, and this one ran away here. 31-point advantage for the Bombers. Hard to believe with about 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. It was a 9-point game. Duncan hits the free throw.
And Macomb's really picked up the pace here in the second half.
Yeah, they let Duncan hitting that free throw. They've just let the Cyclones maybe get a feel, and then once they realized that the Cyclones could hit some threes, they kind of picked up the intensity again, didn't they?
Yes.
Sullivan fadeaways off, no good. Duncan's going to track it down and go back the other way for the Bombers. Hesitation, goes to the rack, dumps it out to Stuffelbeam, who's in the game. Out to Ian Case for 3, top of the key. It's good. And now you got the subs in, and the problem with the subs for the Bombers is they're all pretty darn good too.
Yeah.
And another steal as Shirey tried to go to a cutting Barkley.
And that's where we said that how deep.
Stuffelbeam's runner's off, no good. Jeter's going to knock it out of bounds.
How deep Macomb is. You know, they're 8-9 deep.
Yeah, and the problem is when you put subs in who don't play as much as the starters, although have played quite a bit in this tournament, but you put subs in, you can't ask the subs not to score. It's really hard to put a sub in and say, hey, don't score.
You know, you're exactly right. I had a coach tell me one time, you coach your kids, I'll coach mine. That's all we can do.
Yep, foul on the floor is going to be charged to Hunter Wilson. Yeah,
and that was with you know, I'd subbed the running back in, and he broke loose for 40 yards and scores a touchdown, and we're winning pretty big. And I apologized after the game. And what are you going to do? You going to tell that player to lay down?
Yeah, you can. Now, if that was a starter doing that, you might tell him, hey, fall down. You know?
Yeah, you're right.
But when it's the third-string running back or the fourth-string running back and the ball goes off of Vale out of bounds, you can't say, hey, this might be your only chance to score, but I don't want you to.
Yeah, you know, and you know what? Most of the time the guys know that, you know.
Yep, and it's unfortunate that those kind of games happen. And I'll guarantee you, Jeter baseline jumper is good. I'll guarantee you when these two teams play again, I don't see this being the same thing.
No, I don't either.
That's the end of the third quarter of play. We'll take a break here on TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH and be back in just a moment.
I couldn't ask for a better agent, for a better company in a disaster where you have no idea where to start.
I learned that there's not a given in life. It takes a team. There's people that are going to watch out for us and that care.
It's been pretty stressful. Once we saw Lori and got our plan, it's
like a huge weight lifted.
Welcome back to Bushnell Prairie City High School. It is the fourth quarter as we get ready to start here, and the Bombers lead 56-19. And what did Cyclones score 1 point that quarter? Is that right?
Yes.
Tough start here to the second half for the Cyclones. Will be Cyclones basketball to start the final 8 minutes, and it's a 30-point game. Do we have a running clock in this? I think after 30 points, it's a running clock, isn't it?
It depends. That's only in tournaments, isn't it? Or is
well,
it
this
regular?
is a tournament.
Yeah, I know that, but I think it's an option, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and you could be right. We'll see. Nope, it's still running, so it must be a running clock.
Yep.
Jonathan Jeter is going to pick up the foul, so that answers our question, doesn't it?
Yeah. But what I meant by that is some tournaments will do it and some tournaments won't. It's an option.
Shot on the way by Mitchell's off, no good. Ian Case with the rebound. Beam will bring it up the floor. Clock running here in the fourth quarter. It's 56-19. And, you know, in all honesty, and they're going to fall on the floor with it. Bailey's going to come up with it. Who was it over there? Barkley lost his shoe, put it back on, and hustles back down the floor. You got to give him some credit. Mitchell for three, off, no good. You got to give Barkley some credit. His team is down by 37 points.
And he's on the floor
battling. On the floor battling.
Yep.
His shoe came off. He didn't hesitate. He hopped up, put his shoe on, and ran right straight down the floor again. You got to give Ashton some credit. He wasn't taking any time off there.
No.
Getting right back down the floor.
Didn't hesitate at all.
No, he didn't. 6:30 remaining in the basketball game. Lindsay May gives it to Stufflebeam. Steven Stufflebeam's going to drive on Mitchell. Runner's off, no good. And it looks like they're going to let him play a little bit here, too. Vale goes down on the floor, and that should have probably been a travel, but they call a jump ball. Same result. Macomb will end up with it. I don't think there was a Macomb player really that even had a hand on it, was there?
No, I don't think so. Brian Sullivan, the official, doing a little prep work down there, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he was all over it, too.
We'll have to call him floor prep.
Old floor prep doing a good job tonight. Ian Case going to drive, underhand scoop. Jeter with the rebound. It's off, no good. Going to go off of Macomb, out of bounds. Possession to the Cyclones. Cameron Kramer checking back in for the Cyclones. Kramer with it. Mitchell backs out behind the back, picked up by Wilson there. Turnaround jumper. Rebounded by Mason Moore. Over on the far side with it is Carter Powell. His pass taken away. Going to go to Hunter Wilson from Lindsay May. Hunter Wilson gets the bucket.
That's his first bucket on the night.
Mitchell's runner's off, no good. Ian Case with the rebound. Hunter Wilson, a little moving pick going down the floor. Ian Case misses the relatively easy layup. Mitchell now has more wide open. Finally gets it to him, but a little late. And Lindsay May is going to run him over and send Mason Moore to the free throw line. That'll be the first foul on Lindsay May.
That was actually there's been 2 points scored in this half.
Mason Moore's free throw is short.
Now into the Bombers, number 25, Baraka Ferruzzi.
Number 21.
I was looking, I couldn't find him.
Baraka Ferruzzi checking in for the Bombers, number 25. Ian Case takes a seat. Mason Moore's second free throw is good. The second point of the quarter, or of the half, scored for the Cyclones right there. They are 2 of 4 from the free throw line. Hunter Wilson with it. Stufflebeam to Jeter. He looked down to Ferruzzi, and Ferruzzi had already left his post and went to set a pick.
He was out of there, wasn't he?
He was. Vale had the steal. It's 58-20. And now Kramer was looking for Vale, and much the same as the other end of the floor, Vale had went and left before Kramer had thrown it. Clock still running, 3 minutes to go. Checking in for the Cyclones, number 32, Clayton Hunt. Ferruzzi with it. He looked down low, lost it, got it back. Wilson to Jeter. Jeter's going to drive. Runner is good.
And
counted in a foul. Fouls on number 32, Clayton Hunt, his first. He had the Kenny Suter style of getting in the scorebook right there. Free throw off, no good for Jeter. Ferruzzi with the rebound. Down low was Lindsey May. Ferruzzi gets the rebound. Harassed down low. He gets out to Stufflebeam. Also in the game is Keaton Whistlet. Now Hunter Wilson's going to drive, and he's going to be fouled. Not sure if it's on Hunt or Moore. That's on Moore. Mason Moore gets the foul. Hunter Wilson at the free throw line, shooting the 2. First one is good for Hunter Wilson. Second one on the way is off, no good. Mason Moore is going to, they're going to say Lindsey May hit it out.
Jim's starting to fill up a little bit, isn't it?
It is. It is. 30-second timeout charged to West Prairie. Looks like number 50, Evan Guardian, checking in. And number 15, Ben Wren, going to check in for the Cyclones. So some people might say, why you take a timeout here in a 41-point game, but these are all fresh soft players essentially out there on the floor now for West Prairie, and this is an extra coaching point, isn't it?
Yeah, and the big thing is you're getting them in, and sometimes they get a little bit nervous or whatever, and you're just getting the kids in, try to get them settled down.
Getting them a little playing time before they start their season a little later in about a week or so, I guess it will be.
Probably next Tuesday, wouldn't you say?
Yep, that it is. Hunt's going to drive, and he's going to lose it. Jeter's going to come up with it. Jeter's going to press and beat everybody down the floor. And his layup is good, and a foul's going to be called. I'm not going to lie. That's one I wish that Jeter would have gave up to somebody who hadn't scored yet.
Yeah.
He had 2 players ahead of him who hadn't scored.
Yeah.
Give that one up. He has the athletic ability, quite obviously, to get down the floor. He makes the free throw as well. But would have been nice for him to give that up to one of those other 2 guys and let them score.
I agree with you.
Kramer with it. He's going to go to Whistlet. Whistlet on the dribble. Puts up the shot. It's off, no good. Ferruzzi with the rebound. 28 seconds left.
Ferruzzi's he did pretty good on the boards, hadn't he?
Yes, he has. He did the other night, too. He came in the other night and did the same thing. He's a little unpolished, it would appear, but he's got some athletic ability, that's for sure. Now, Stufflebeam's just wasting time now.
We wouldn't miss him out there with them shoes, would we?
No. Shoes are.
I'd have me a pair of those.
Oh, and Whistlet's going to get a steal, and he might get a layup. Whistlet will get a layup at the buzzer, as the only bucket of the second half comes at the buzzer. Am I right on that?
You are absolutely correct.
We'll take a break and be back here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, right after this.
MDH has committed to having a top-notch OB-GYN unit.
The new facility, the Dolores Cater Schweitzer Women's Center, this is a quality facility that the patients need to match the quality of care.
And then we also have a new clinic, which is state-of-the-art.
And here at McDonough, we have a team. And everybody feels like they're a part of the successes that we have.
We have a strong team in our office and in labor and delivery. You will get the best care at McDonough District.
I couldn't ask for a better agent, for a better company in a disaster where you have no idea where to start.
I learned that there's not a given in life. It takes a team. There's people that are going to watch out for us and they care.
It's been pretty stressful. Once we saw Lori and got our plan, it's
Like a huge weight lifted.
Dry needling is where you insert a filiform needle into a muscle, a tendon, a ligament, sometimes a bone, and it promotes blood flow and circulation so that it heals that particular painful area.
Welcome back to Bushnell Prairie City High School, and some statistics that are going to be very heavily towards the Bombers, I would imagine.
Yeah, for the Bombers tonight, Jack Duncan with 7 points, Connor Watson with 13, Connor Ham with 3, Hunter Wilson with 3, Nolan Kerr with 4. Caden Mainland led the Bombers with 15 points. Hayden Case had 6, Ian Case had 3, and Jonathan Jeter off the bench for 10 points. For West Prairie, the Cyclones, Denver Mitchell had 1 point, Braxton Dunn had 10, Luke Shirey with 5, Keaton Whistlet with 2 right at the end of the buzzer, Bailey Sullivan with 3, and Mason Moore with a free throw for 1 point.
Well, we're hoping to get the coaches up here to talk to them from both teams, especially Coach Duncan, but this is the kind of game that if you're going to forget to come to talk about one, this would be one you want to forget about, isn't it?
Yeah, as a coach, though, the thing that I'm going to tell you that I told a radio guy one time when they closed up ship after a loss, and I said, there's people out there that want to hear what the coach has to say. Grandmas and grandpas and aunts and uncles and brothers and sisters and everybody's wanting to listen and want to hear what the coach got to say. So wait around till the very end.
Yep, and if need be, we will leave here in a minute, get things ready for the next contest, and bring them on at the start of the next one, like we've done Coach Anderson the last 2 games. And I don't see either coach walking our way just yet. I haven't been able to look. Actually, Coach Duncan is right behind us.
Yes.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for joining us. I know not the. I don't think it's the game anybody expected. You guys came out pretty flat and just couldn't get things going.
Yep. Once again, we come out flat and didn't score for a long time. And for 3 games now we've done that. And against a good team like Macomb, there's no way you can do that and battle back and expect to win.
Well, it didn't seem like it was a whole lot different than last night. You guys finally came to life in the second half, even the fourth quarter last night. But Macomb opened things up so much you really didn't have that opportunity tonight, did you?
No, they're talented. They're by far the best team in this tournament, in this field here, and they're very talented and very deep. And when they can run 10 guys in there at us all the time, and, our bench is 7 deep right now, and it makes it tough on us.
I know that you guys play them again later in the year. That game won't be this game, though, I don't think.
Oh, absolutely not. We'll be ready for them. I mean, we were ready for them to begin with tonight. We just got outplayed and got out hustled. I preach all year long about that we have to work hard and defend harder. And when you don't defend hard, don't crash the boards very much. It's hard to win. There's a couple times we see shots go up and there's 4 Cyclone jerseys hanging around 3-point line. And, it's effort and pride and wanting to get better. And it all boils down to how do we come back tomorrow. 2 tough games tomorrow. That one hurts. Our kids are mad. They're upset. Their heads were down. But, we have a chance to leave here 4-1 in this tournament. And if we play 2 good games tomorrow, we can very easily do that.
So you mentioned about not having anybody on the boards. A lot of people say, well, you're playing a 4 or 5 guard offense. That's going to be a problem. I know that it's not in the scheme-wise. You've got that taken care of. But how do you get the kids to fall into that and do that against a team like Macomb that Mainland really was a force in the first quarter in the post?
Yeah, we can put a rebounding ring on the basket at practice, and none of the shots will go in, and we'll have to go get the rebounds. I think that might be on tap sometime here in the near future. But, it's been our Achilles heel for a long time. It was kind of our Achilles heel last year. we were a little bit bigger last year, so it didn't make it, it wasn't as bad. But now when there's 4 guards and basically 1 true post player, it makes it tough. They have to put that extra effort in on the rebounding end.
Yeah, boxing out becomes even more critical when you're in position. You have to box out, right?
Absolutely, and boxing out is just effort. I mean, if I'm between my guy and the basket, I turn around and put a butt in him and push him back, and then I go get the rebound. I don't try to out jump him, which we have a tendency to try to do.
Well, I know that the starting lineup was a little different for you tonight. Kyle was a little late to the bus, is what I heard, but got here and played. Or
Kyle was here.
He played.
But he wasn't late to the bus. We thought about trying to be a little more athletic and a little more offensive, and just made that change tonight to see if it would make any difference, and we kind of find out that Kyle does a lot of little things right. His name doesn't show up in the scorebook a lot, but man, he's a grinder, and he gets in there and he bangs, and he likes to rebound. So
well, he came in later in the first quarter and into the second quarter there. Mainland slowed down when he came into the game, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. They kind of hurt us on that zone, kind of like Bushnell did early on the skip passes across there, and Connor Watson hits a couple threes early on, and it makes me change how I think about how long we're going to stay in that. They struggled. I thought Macomb struggled a little bit against it when Illini Bluffs put it on the other night, and that's why we came out in it. And, they made some adjustments, and we were a little late on the rotation on the skip passes and gave open threes.
Yeah, and then the pick and rolls and give and goes were hurting you early in the first half too, wasn't it?
Yeah, we have a tendency to watch the ball, and a good team, when you watch the basketball and you turn around and look, your guy's gone. And they had a couple give and go. There's a real nice give and go with Connor Watson down there on a pass where he got it back and then passed it back and then turned around and took off. And then the pick and rolls, we don't step in the passing lane there, and they're hard to defend if we don't do that.
Well, Coach, I'll let you get out of here. Rough night tonight, but early start tomorrow, and you'll get right back at it.
Yeah, we'll see what we're made of tomorrow. 2 games, chance to go 4-1. What more can you ask?
That's all you can ask for. It's been a long time since the Cyclones back-to-back years are considered one of the better teams in this tournament, and you guys still have a chance to be that, don't you?
Absolutely, and that's what we're going to tell the kids here when I go talk to them in the locker room is, we still got a chance to be 4-1. We got to walk out the door tonight, forget that this ever happened, and get right back at it in the morning.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us.
One thing that, the big thing that you got to look at, and you really got to preach with your kids, is that, hey, we're going to see them, but they're a 2A school or 1A school. And the big thing is what I see is that through this tournament, the depth of Macomb being a 2A school with a lot more kids versus the depth of the 1A schools.
Yep, definitely.
And that's, that's just something that as an old coach sitting back and looking, those are things that I see that probably the average fan, don't take into consideration.
And Kelly, we had that conversation, hey, we're a 2A school. We're not supposed to beat them. We're not supposed to play with them. It's a chance to come out and get better.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
We didn't really do it as well as I would have liked to have, but we get to see them again, and it'll only make us better towards the postseason.
And like with Bailey Sullivan only having 3 points tonight, as myself and Dwayne talked, that you got 3 guys that can come out and score. A little bit more help off the bench is where you really got to go, and with Bailey only having 3, that hurt you tonight.
Yep, that didn't help us any.
Yeah. Well, good luck, Coach.
Thanks
for coming and talking to us. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Coach Duncan coming talking to us. We're going to get off here. We'll have Coach Anderson hopefully at the start of the next game, and we'll be back here on TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH in just a couple minutes with our next broadcast. Kenny Suter will be on for that one here on TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH.